Hey, welcome to the third part of the tutorial of the beginner's VFX material series. And here we're going to make this wispy effect and also the mesh. So this is fairly simple. We just have one texture and we are distorting its UVs. We're also powering them so you can control the intensity of them. It is fairly simple. For this one, I'm using this kind of noise texture. I like the holes it has. I like the highlights. You can use any noise texture from distorted content or maybe one that you made. Or if you want me to make a tutorial on textures too, that can work, but let me know. So let's start. So material wisp, and we go in. We want this to be additive. Oops, yeah. We want this to be unlit. And also we want it to be two-sided. All right, so the first thing is we want to hook our noise, right? So hold T, left click, and you bring it up, or you can bring it up on any way that you want. You hook it on emissive, and you can see it is already there, right? You can say that these holes are not transparent or totally transparent, but we can control it with a power node. So for now it is fine. This is nice. And we want to hold P and left click, P of panner, and we want to hook it. What this node does is it just gives it pans the UVs in certain direction, right? So if you pan it on X, goes like this. If you go on minus, right? So let's just do 0.4. We can do whatever, right? It's just a preview for now, but let's do it on Y. Okay. And now the other node that we want is this one. It is vector to radial. Just type vector to radial value, or just vector to radial. And you want to hook its radial coordinates to the panel coordinates. And what this does is, well, you can already see, right? It's just making the UVs of this texture be radial. So everything that you hook on this UV channel is it's obvious, right? You're just modifying the UVs of this texture. Okay, so let's just make it simple. Let's clone this. So Control V, Control C, Control V. And we want to make a simple distortion. So for the second one, I'm thinking let's add them both. Like I want them to have different effects. Like this texture on top, it can remain like this with this radial going in, and maybe the other can have a different kind of distortion. Let's just go on through it. So I want to duplicate these two because I'm going to use these two textures to distort this one. If you just hook this one, for example, over here, and let's preview it with over here, start previewing node. Okay. So wait. Oh, okay. I'm just doing it wrong. Hold on. I just wanna quickly show you an example. Let's do it like this. All right. I think it was just failing because I was adding all three channels. Maybe I just needed one. Yeah, that was it. I just need one channel. It's still better. Okay, so you can see that from this texture, the UVs are getting like, well, distorted, right? If you want to see what is really happening, we hook a panner, put it here, and let's just make it move it slow. So you can see how this texture is being panned across the UVs of this one. and you can like get a nice distortion on it, right? So we're trying to do that on a more delicate, on a more visually pleasing pleasing way, because this is awful, right? It is just so stale. All right, so what we want to do, and we just want to unhook this, we want to erase this. Maybe, let me think, maybe this direction is fine. Maybe we also put 0.1 here. Okay, we want another panner for the bottom one too. Let's just make it pan on a different side. So yeah, they are different. And one thing that is important when you're panning textures, you don't want them to be whole whole numbers, because there's going to be one instance where they will match, right? So maybe add a 3 here, 4 here, and over here maybe a 5, and maybe a 2. Although, yeah, they will never match this way. So now we, as we were showing you earlier, well, as I was showing you earlier, we don't want this effect so rough on our material. So maybe you just want to multiply it. So hold M, left click. Let's lessen the intensity. So maybe 0.1, just barely visible. Let's hook it and see. Yeah, like I guess we can't see it really right now. We just need to wait a little bit. But we also multiply this one by 0.1. Or actually, maybe this one on minus 0.1. It'll make more sense after. And we want to add them both directly to each of these. And you can sort of see how it is distorting now. But it is still matching. You see, sometimes, eventually, just wait for it. Well, there is some point when these are matching. Maybe this is not enough. Maybe 23. Perhaps it is better this way. Perhaps it is better this way. So right, we have this one over here. It kind of looks like a water reflection over here. Hmm. All right. Yeah. Okay. I think I know what's going on. So we want, if we, let's say, combine these two, maybe we add them and let's see what's going on. We stop reviewing this. If we add them and we preview it, you can see how the effects aren't really adding up. Like one is going overall on the, you can visualize it too clearly over here. So let's say, this is just for showing. Okay, yeah, maybe this is better. You can see how this node over here is just panning everywhere, while the top one is um, uh, distorting on a radial way, right? So we want to also multiply this one or add it, right? So we go through here. We also add it here, and that's exactly how it should look. So if you're wondering what the hell happened, again, we're just hooking this one normally, right? And we're combining these two, but the top one has this radial distortion, right? And when we add these two together, they're not matching, right? Even if maybe if we do multiply, it's going to show even clearer. Let's see. Yeah, actually, you can see it better if we multiply it. So you can see, even if it's faint, how the background distortion is just going everywhere. And maybe that is what you want, right? Maybe that is what you want, and that is fine. But my intention with this was just using two different kinds of distortion and both of them being really evident, right? So what is going on here is this top one is being distorted by this radial value, but the bottom one isn't, and that is why they are not matching. Okay, and I'm pretty sure I explained it on the first tutorial, but maybe if I didn't, I'm going to say it again. So there is a difference between multiply and add, right? Add, you're just adding, for example, two systems together, right? And they're both gonna show like this. They're both showing. They're not combined, they're just both on top of each other and they're showing, right? And multiply, it just multiplies each value and creates something out of it, right? So sometimes you want to multiply and sometimes you want to add. In this case, I'm not looking to multiply these two. I'm looking to add them together because I want them both, right? And also over here with this add, I'm not trying to multiply this with this because it's not going to work. We want to add both of these, right? Add both together. Maybe it makes more sense as you go, right? Um, so let's just hook this over here. And this is not looking bad. Yeah, but definitely it isn't add because we want both of these effects combined, right? So we erase this one. And this was just a preview, so we erase it too. All right, so we have again our effect. And well, our next step should be just starting to modify ahead of the texture. We are done with the distortion. And just in case it isn't really clear, we are panning this texture. We are modifying it right on the UVs of the texture. We are making them radial so they form like this, because if this wasn't present, it's just going either up, bottom, or left or right, right? And this vector is only going to work, or is only going to look nice if the texture is tiled, right? So yeah, we add it here too. And this is looking nice. Okay, so let's separate it a little bit. Let's go over here. Or actually, we don't want to hook this just yet. Yeah, we don't want to multiply just yet even. Okay, so we're going to modify each texture individually first. What we want to do now is we want to multiply this one. Or actually, we can do color after. We want to control this by, oh, we actually don't. All right. Okay, I already made up my mind, don't worry. So for this example, let's just hold 3 and left click, vector 3 constant, and let's hook it here. I'm going to show you with the vector 3 and also with the particle color. So let's pick a color. Maybe this helps us visualize it a little bit better. Maybe this one is yellow, but here. Right, one thing that maybe I should be explaining is that if the value of your color is 1 or less than 1, it's going to be a plain color, right? But if it is past 1, or was it past 2? Yeah, if it is past 1, it's going to be emissive, right? It is going to be a bright color. So I go 3, and you can see it over here on the preview. Let's do it yellow, and let's see how that looks. So we multiply these two, so we can control the color, right? And we multiply again, or here, or no, we're gonna put a power node here. So you left click, I'm sorry, right click, power. Is it P? No, that's banner. Yeah, it's just power. So you hook it up, and we want a scalar parameter. So hold S, left click, and let's say top power. Okay, we can kind of preview it over here. So this is already hooked, and we click apply. We want to go where our material is. So right click, material instance, and double click it, just so you can preview it, right? And maybe put 1, maybe put 2, and you can see how the whites are more white and the blacks are, right? So at 3, it makes it completely transparent, or nearly, but we may not want this. So this was just a test, right? So we erase it. We can make this maybe 2. 2 is usually fine. Okay, nice. So we leave it here. And now we're going to do the same for the bottom one. So we multiply it again. And in case it wasn't clear enough, you're multiplying this because you want to combine these two nodes, right? If you just add them, and let's say this is a red. If you just add them, you're adding color on top of the texture, right? So it is not working the same way. I don't really want this color though. Maybe this. We will modify it as we go through anyway. All right, so again, we bring out the power and we hook it. Let's just make it over here. And also scalar. And this one is gonna be power. Okay, let's do this here. Let's put a 2 over here. And now I think now we can actually add them together to the emissive. This is looking sorta similar to what we want to get, although the top one is just way too overpowering. Maybe we just go over here. Yeah, that was way too much. Maybe we just want it red. Yeah, maybe you just want it red. So different shades. You can't really tell the difference between them, but for now that's gonna have to do. For now that's gonna have to do. We can make a difference between powers between each other. Let's see, 4 for 1, and perhaps a little bit leaning towards here, maybe here. It's still not changing, and it's making me question myself. Why? Let's work this out together. So we can see that, okay, maybe the power was way too much. Maybe we need a 3 on both. It seems that the bottom one was way too faint and the top was just overpowering it. Let's see. Maybe around here. Yeah, I can see some highlights of this one. The main is this one though. And we can tweak it afterwards. Quite honestly, both of these is not what we're gonna use at the end. But for now, it will have to do. Now we need to create the opacity. And for this one, we have two options. We either combine some of these top nodes with a vector with a radial gradient for the opacity, or we just do the radial. Let's try the radial for now. So right click, radial gradient. It's this one. This one just creates this circled shape for our opacity. And maybe this is what we want, right? But we don't want this to be just entirely like this. We want two scalar parameters, one for radius, and we hook it on radius, and the other one on density. We have it here so we can modify it later. And we'll have to tweak it on the instance so we can see where it does or how it does. We hook it here, and now we need depth fade. Did I explain about this? So this one makes that whenever you interject something with your material or with whatever object that has this material, you're gonna create a soft blend between a soft like gradient between them. I can show you in a little bit. So we hook this up, and nothing's gonna show because our radius is 0. Maybe it can be 0.7. Oh, no density either. So density is 1. Okay. So it's 2 squared. You can see the edges. Maybe 0.5. Yeah, 0.5 is looking better. Density needs to be higher though. Or is it lower? Let's see. Yeah, higher. Is it 10? We should be changing this on the material instance. This is taking too long. But you can see where it is going right now. So let's save. And let's test that that depth fade so you can really see what it does. So let's see. Mesh. Okay. Whatever mesh. Let's say this one. Oh, we don't have okay. Oh, it's gonna have to be on one of my test maps. It's fine though, I guess. We save it. Okay. So where was it? I lost it. Okay, spellcore. All right. Let's assign this material to this spellcore right here. Okay, it is way too soft. We need to make it way brighter. So right click, material instance, open it up. Oh, we already had one. Okay, erase this one then. Okay, so on here, let's make it way brighter. So maybe 30. No, that's it up. Then it's fine. Maybe even pushing it a little bit too much. 1, 1. It looks awful. It does not matter. Okay. Now we need to apply it. So browse, and we apply it here. Now you can see that whenever it is reaching to whenever it is crossing other geometry, it is fading out, right? And if we didn't have this node, or here, if we didn't have it, the cross looks like this, right? It's really sharp. Well, that makes it clear. All right, we go back to it. And of course, you can also modify how much, well, you can modify the values here, right? Okay. I can see that the power took the transparent areas pretty well. I think this is fine. But if you bring this material to a particle system, you're not going to be able to modify either his color or its opacity, because you don't have any node in here that is communicating with the particle. So we don't need this, and we don't need this. But it was just for the sake of showing you. So right click, particle color. And let's just drag it over here. We need to erase this. Maybe just go straight through here. And we erase this too. Straight here. Erase both of these. And we have this particle color that we need to add at the end. So a multiply between this and this. Hook it on the emissive. Right? You're multiplying your whole system with a particle color. So this particle color is changing everything. And you also need to multiply the opacity, right? So this is all of the opacity. Hook it over here, and we multiply this over here. Okay. So this should be enough for our particle system. All right, now let's make some meshes. Let's go to 3ds Max, or maybe you have Maya. All right, and this part is really simple, but at the end, well, at the start when I started learning, I just couldn't get it right. Like I didn't really understand why some UVs will have to be flipped or whatever. But we're gonna go through it now. So just create any sphere. All right, and this is it. Right click, convert it to editable poly. The sizes are fine. The more geometry you have, the more smooth it's going to look. But that is up to you at the end. Although, you know what? Let's make it smoother. Yeah. More segments. Okay. It does not matter. So right click, editable poly. There is one thing about exporting meshes. If you know it, awesome. If you don't, then this is useful for you. So if you want to export it, and you export it like this, this mesh is not centered, as you can see here on the bottom. Although, can you see my mouse movements? I don't think you can. Damn. Okay, so here on the bottom, you can see X, Y, and Z. Right below my square selection. For the next video, I'll allow the cursor. So this mesh isn't centered. So whenever you export it, the pivot is going to be off from the center. You always need to export it on 0, 0, 0. Okay? And I'm pretty sure that we can look at this example later on. But this sphere is good enough. So what we want to do now is duplicate it like this. The name is fine. Just click a copy. And you also want to center it, okay? So How do I illustrate this example better? Maybe we just export it like this. Okay, we're gonna leave the second one unattended. We just click on the first one and we export it. Okay, hold on. Okay, so I'm just gonna save it, export. Just try to be tidy with your exports. I'm learning. I'm having a hard time, but I'm learning. So of mesh. Let's say spellcore. It's the same name that they had before, but maybe spellcore. Okay. You just click on OK. You go back to Unreal, and you should have an ordered file, right? Just for meshes or whatever. So import. Let me go on. Where is it? Quick. Okay, tutorial. Spellcore. And you just want to import it. This is fine. It does not matter. And we can actually this doesn't matter. Let's create a new blueprint though. We're gonna start putting all of our meshes together here. This is the big part. So right click, blueprint class, just select actor, and let's say BP 4, and you enter it. All right, and in here we're gonna put all of our elements. So first we want to put add component, or actually we can just swap it. So first this spell core right here. Okay, and I don't want this spell core to be a child of this default scene root, so you can just drag it, or well, actually that works too. Okay, that's great. So now this one we need to add the materials here. So let's start with, let's start with the core, with the instance, and we put it over here. And we are using a blueprint, so we don't have to just, like for example, go into the world and set one after other. You need to use it on a blueprint, right? So it is more ordered, so it can be called by other blueprints, or it's just the way it should be done, right? So yeah, we have the first one, and let's rename it. Let's say this is named core. Okay, everything is fine about this core. We need to add another one more. So let's just duplicate it. We don't want it to be a child, remember that? So we just, wait, so we, wait. Okay, let's not do it this way then. We go back to here. Why is it not allowing me to move it though? Okay, I think I did something terribly wrong. Let's roll back with Control C. Okay, so this default scene root needs to be there. This one is fine. So we have the spell core here, and let's add the core instance to here. And now when we duplicate it, okay, that's how it should be. All right, so core, this is the core. This one is gonna be the reflection. And let's hook the reflection up. It's here. For a second I lost it and I was like, where is it? Okay, so this is the reflection. And there is one thing that you can see from the start over here. You can't see the reflection at all. And once we hook the wisp, it's gonna be more evident. So let's right click again and duplicate. And this one is gonna be wisp. And we wanna hook our... Is this the good wisp? No, this is the exaggerated one. So we want 2 on here, 2 on here. How was it? Is it 3, 3? Okay, 2, 3. 3, 3. All right, semi-transparent. We want to put it here. No, this is the real one. Okay. All right, and you can tell nothing is showing. And all you can see is the core, right? So if we go to core, scroll down a little bit. Here you see visible. If we unhook it, you can see that everything is underneath it, right? And it makes sense, right? Because this is an opaque material, like nothing goes through it. So maybe, let's say, put a 0.9 here. You can see that it is smaller, and now the wisp is showing, right? But it's still not looking, sorry, it is not looking that nice. So that is why you need an inverted, a sphere with inverted normals, right? I'm gonna show you right now. So let's put everything to size now, and we go back to 3ds Max. Let's hide the first sphere, and let's show the second one. So the normals are normal here, right? You can see them on the outside, and you cannot see from the inside, right? You can just see the outside. So if we go on modifier, we type normal, you can just click flip normals. Now what this does is that you can only see what is going on inside, right? So we right click and we make an editable poly. So there is a thing with this. If your material has two-sided, it is not going to matter if you have a flipped normal sphere or not, because it's going to show on both sides, right? On the outside and on the inside. So now that that explanation is over, everything is on 0. Let's export it. This is the flipped sphere. Export selected. This is spell core flipped 02. We press OK. We go back here, and over here, import. This is the flipped. And you can already tell on the thumbnail how the difference is, right? This is the normal, right? It is, you can see the normals normal, right? And the second one, you can only see the inside. And exactly this is what we want for the opaque core. I'm gonna show you. So we click it. This is, we should be erasing this one. Okay. We go on core and we go over here. And let's put this wisp on not visible so it doesn't bother us. Now you can see, we can see the inside of the core and not the outside, and that is really useful, right? We can see the reflection. We can make it more intense if we so desire. I'm not really liking the core though. I'm not really liking it, so let's modify it. If you have two monitors, this is, oh no. If you have two monitors, then this is way easier. All right, we need to modify it, make it a little bit more interesting. So intensity, we do not want to touch the intensity. Oh. 0.3? Nope. Wait, did it break? What happened? Oh, we unchecked the Fresnel exponent. So 0.2, that looks a little bit more believable. Maybe 0.5, 0.4, 0.5, 0.5 maybe. And the Fresnel, Okay, I like this. This is better. Let's save this. And I think the reflection is fine. Let's check the wisp then. Let's make it visible. Right. So since I'm showing you this on a blueprint, we do need the set colors. All right. Well, we need to redo it. The reason we are redoing it is because this is just a blueprint, right? If this material and this sphere were inside a particle system, then we could control the colors, right? But since this is just a blueprint, we cannot control it. If we just created an effect on Cascade or Niagara, and we drag the mesh, drag the material, and drag a color over live node, we can modify it, right? But again, this is just a blueprint, so we cannot modify it here. And this white thing is really bothering me. Click on the blueprint core right here and type, how was the name? Billboard. There we go. Zero. Thank Lord, it's gone. We need to give the color back to this wisp. So again, we need to multiply this here, and here, and here. And the same for this one. Multiply, and we hook this here, and we do it here. So to make it easier for us, let's just right click, parameter. This is top color. Right click, parameter. This is dot color. All right, and let's modify it on the instance, which makes it way easier. So this is way too strong, right? It had to be a 1. So we select that. And for this one, can we maybe go over here? Let's just test things for now. Okay. So you can see how it is kind of working. And actually, since the core is opaque and our wisp is very or is has its opacity reduced, you can kind of see through it, right? Maybe we need to increase the colors. Maybe you like this. I don't know, but let's just increase it. Let's make it more emissive then. Let's try a 3. Sometimes it bugs, so let's try that. Yeah, that is looking faster for sure. I mean, way more intense. Perhaps a little bit too much. Perhaps way too much. So 1.3. Yeah. Okay. And over here. Oh, over here it is 1. Okay, it's nice. I'm liking it. Okay. Maybe we can do a couple extra tweaks so the colors are more intense, but I think it is good enough for now. So if we make a quick recap to end this third tutorial, we made the wisp material, we grabbed a texture, a noise, we panned it, we panned its UVs through a vector radial, which makes them radial. We learned how to distort the UVs, right? And the way that you distort them is just adding some movement with some texture and hooking it on the UVs. We control the color, we control the power, we add them together, and everything's great. um, yeah, that is with the wisp. And with the meshes, what we learned was about the, oh, there's one more thing that I want to show you. Okay, so it is about the, where is it? The two-sided thing. So let's move this over here. Okay. Actually, all right. So let's uncheck this and put apply. Okay, I don't think you can, on the very clear parts, you can see that this texture is not panning along those flip normals, right? And this is because of the two-sided that is unchecked now. So the texture is only showing on the outside, right? If you check it, it goes both ways. And you can kind of sometimes see it double, right? So yeah, that was something small that I forgot. And that is why also the core cannot have double-sided, because let's just do it for the sake of argument, right? So it is completely clear. If the core has double-sided, it's going to be as if it has normals on the inside and the outside, and you can't see anything again. So just a side note, right? Just two-sided can work for you or can work against you, of course. And I think that's all for this lesson. On the next one, we're going to make some VFX around it, and we're going to make some tweaks, because I think that the core could be doing more things. Right now it is looking like a little bit plain. Yeah, maybe we can do more modifies there, right? Maybe increase this too. That is already looking better. We can modify the color a little bit too. We can make many things, whatever. But I hope that you learned. And if you have any questions or any recommendations, maybe I'm going too fast, or maybe I missed one of the notes that I didn't really explain, please let me know. All right? And I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching.